What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Real Reds Talk. Ineos have made their first signing of their new era, and it is a Dutch player in Joshua Zirkzee. We're going to dive into all the finer details very, very shortly, but we've also just had some news breaking as well that Ruud van Nistelrooy and Rene Hack are also official, ready to go. So that's 3 Dutch signings almost. You've got a manager from Go Ahead Eagles, a former legend in Ruud van Nistelrooy, one of the greatest strikers to ever grace Manchester United. And then we've got a new protege who Ruud van Nistelrooy will be working alongside. So Joshua Zirkzee, we finally got the here we go from Fabrizio Romano. We've been expecting it for a hot minute. And we're going to talk about the player. We're going to talk about what he can offer. We're going to talk about, how him and Højlund could potentially complement each other. How can he complement our wingers that we currently have? Talk about Ruud van Nistelrooy with Højlund and with Zirkzee and how that dynamic's going to work. We've got some quotes from Dan Ashworth. We've got some quotes from Erik Ten Hag. Loads of stuff coming out in a minute. Plus, we had an update on Matthias de Ligt as well, but I might save that for the later on show. If we kind of run out of time or whatever. But we'll see we'll see the script and see how it goes. Let me know your reaction though. How do you feel about Zirkzee? Are you excited about this player? Look, first, straight out the gate, whenever you sign someone new, everyone's excited. Everyone loves the transfer market. Everyone loves a new player. But for United, they've always gone with the obvious one. They've always gone with the one that's 90 million quid. Well, they've gone with 100 million pound, 110. Yeah, everyone else wants him, so let's go get him. Now, I'm not saying there wasn't interest in Zirkzee, but because there was, Arsenal was kind of sniffing around. There's a few other clubs, but it's a different prototype. It's not it seems like a smart, shrewd signing. And the only kind of last stumbling block with Zirkzee was the way they was going to pay the fee. So I'll just read out Romano's, what he's reported, and then we'll get the reaction to it. So, exclusive, Joshua Zirkzee to Manchester United. Here we go. Man United will not trigger the clause, but will pay slightly above 40 million euros with better payment terms in 3 years. Basically, in layman's terms, they've got him on fucking Klarna. That's what they've done. Instead of paying the full upfront fee, because I believe there was cash flow issues, nothing to do with PSR, just pure cash flow issues. Rather than pay the fee up front, they've gone, right, look, we'll give you a little bit more if you let us expand it over, 3-4 years, or over his contract, I believe it is, over 5 years. So if it's, I don't know, quick math, if it's 34 million, you're talking about, 7 million euros a year, something, 7, 14, 21, 28, 35. Wow, quick math. Jesus. So yeah, you're talking 7 million per year, and he's signing until June 2029 with with an option for a further season. And even by then, in 5 years' time, it'll just be getting into his prime. He'll be 28 years old, so there's a lot of room to work with this player. And also, just to note, I think, when you sign a player of that age, one, you have a sell-on fee. So notoriously, when we're signing players like Matic, Alexis Sanchez, Casemiro, all these kind of players, by the end of their contracts, they're worth nothing, basically. So you just shit money down the toilet. Whereas Zirkzee, if he comes to United, if he develops nicely, even if you wanted to go in 5 years' time, you still have a decent fee. You still get a decent fee for him. So the money that you've invested, you basically get back and then more, unless he obviously signs another contract, and in which case he's done really well. So that's irrelevant anyway. So yeah, in Zirkzee, again, I don't know if people have watched him, if you've seen much. We didn't see anything really in the Euros, but if you've seen him for Bologna, he is a different type of striker to Højlund. Rasmus Højlund is a channel runner. He's someone who likes to, when space opens up, like you've seen against Galatasaray, for example, he's physical. He can, he's got a decent kind of poaching ability in the box, although he doesn't get the service. Zirkzee is completely different. He is more of a Martial, a Kane, a Firmino, right? And the reason why this signing excites me so much is because if you think about how important Firmino was in that Liverpool side when they had Mane and they had Mo Salah, and he would, drop into pockets of space, drag defenders out, and then he would feed Mane, he would feed Salah, and these kind of guys. And I think you look at the nature of our wingers, Garnacho, very selfish, goes for goal a lot. Marcus Rashford, the exact same. And, Ahmad and Anthony are slightly different. But what I'm talking about, Zirkzee will just bring that pure technical class, silky. For his height as well, I believe he's like 6'3", 6'4". He's phenomenal on the ball. His technical ability is really, really good. Now, people from afar who you know, I won't call them casual fans, but people who've just looked at his stats, let's say, for example, because a lot of people do that. They've gone on SofaScore, they probably look at, I don't know, 8 goals and 12 assists or whatever it is. I think it's less assists. But 8 goals and 6 assists, let's say, for Zirkzee. Similar to what Rasmus Højlund's was. Thank you for the gift, by the way, Red Devils. Appreciate that, brother. So when you look at it like that, people might say, oh, striker, what's going on here? He's almost the opposite, ironically, to Ruud van Nistelrooy. But maybe Ruud can develop that game. That's the exciting thing. And just look at him, what he does. That was one of the criticisms of Thiago Motta when he was coaching him. He said he's a fantastic player. Initially, he had kind of played an Arnautovic over him until Zirkzee was ready. And then when Zirkzee came into the side, he gives you a completely different option. So even if you want to play with like a partner of two, maybe Rasmus and Zirkzee can play together, because I don't think you could just pin Zirkzee as like just a striker. I think he could probably play as a 10. He could probably play on the wing if you wanted him to do a job on there as well. He can move about the pitch and he's comfortable in all areas, and that's one of his strengths, in my opinion. The fact that he's versatile, he's an intelligent player. Yes, he needs to probably score more goals, I would probably say, and be a bit more ruthless. But do we need that? Do we need that? Or do we need someone of his prototype who's also going to make everyone around him better? You think about Zirkzee dropping, Bruno pushing on, Zirkzee dropping, Rashford inverted, Garnacho. Like, you could just see it working straight away. So it makes sense. You know, with Martial, for example, Martial left, and we haven't seen Martial, a proper Martial, for a good few years. This is going to be one that's fit, firing, ready, and young, and injury-free. I don't think he has, like, a bad injury problem. So, very exciting. I love this signing. I think it's very smart. I think the price that you're getting him for, like I said, even if it doesn't work out, you're still probably going to get your money back, or at least close to it. So, to start with this signing, I think is really, really impressive. And as I mentioned before, with the stuff around PSR and things like that, it was nothing to do with that. Oh, that's the only reason why we're paying it or why we're renegotiating it. It was just cash flow issues for anyone who was questioning that. But let me know how you feel about this deal. Please do, and smash like on the video for Joshua Zirkzee, his official first player in the new Ineos era. I'm also going to talk about Ruud van Nistelrooy and Rene Hack and Matthias de Ligt in a moment. So we've got a lot of Dutch. It's a Dutch themed. I should have had like a big Dutch flag behind me, but ironically, again, we knocked them out last night, didn't we? So I didn't want to, you know, rub salt in the wound, if you will. Today will be forever known as Dutch Day in Manchester. Yes, Brian, that's what I'm saying. Could turn out to be a shrewd signing. 34 million is a decent price in today's market. It's also an indication of a shift in approach in transfer spending. Very smart, as always, from Chive. Joshua Zirkzee is scheduled to fly into the UK tonight and undergo a medical tomorrow ahead of completing a move from Bologna to Manchester United. Zirkzee is joining United for 42.5 million euros over 3 years on a 5+1 year contract. And David Harrington saying, I've never seen him other than the couple of minutes to the Euros. Hope he comes in and does well. We got $500,000 back on Donny. If he doesn't work out, I wouldn't be confident of getting our money back. No, but the thing is, Donny's the situation with Donny van de Beek is an enigma in itself, in it, because no one expected that, and the expectations for Donny was much higher than it was Zirkzee, I would probably say. You know, Zirkzee isn't coming in as the main striker; he's coming in as someone to compete with Rasmus and someone to compete with other positions. Other positions on the pitch as well. So Donny, in my opinion, was slightly different because it was a signing he was brought in as well when the manager didn't even necessarily want him. You know, this is a player Ten Hag wants. You've got a Dutch connection. You've got Ruud van Nistelrooy there. I think it's much more likely he succeeds than he doesn't. But again, it's all about opinion, isn't it, I suppose? It's how you interpret it. But I take your point for sure. But yeah, it's exciting, isn't it? It's exciting, man. I mean, whether I'm a huge fan of how much Dutch influence is coming over the squad, it can't be a bad thing, but you do look at it and what Ineos were putting out there about, like, you know, this is our vision now, this is what we're going to do. Then they stuck with Ten Hag. Then they brought in another 2 Dutch coaches. They want to sign a Dutch centre-back, which is, I'm going to get onto in a moment, and then they're signing a Dutch striker. So this quite literally is a Dutch revolution over Manchester United, and you know, we won't know how it works, if it works, until we start the new season. But like I said, always when you sign a new player, it's exciting, isn't it? Kai Morris saying, I'm so glad we don't overpay for players no more. Yeah, it's good to see. You think about it, when the list of players that we're linked with at the minute, apart from Branthwaite, I mean, I don't mind spending decent money as long as the player's decent and it's worth it. But apart from Branthwaite, you've got Ugarte, who's rumoured for around 38 million. You've got De Ligt, that's 42 million, so that's 80. And then you've got Zirkzee for 34, that's like 110. It's like, you know, we've spent that on almost one player before. So you're getting 3 players, young prodigies. De Ligt's 24, Zirkzee's 23. Ugarte, I don't think is too old. Was he 24, 25, something like that? You know, good age profile. And that's what I'm talking about. It's really important because by the time their contract finishes to 28, 29, you've got resale value. You've got the option to extend. You know, they're just coming into the prime. It's, you know, and especially with the new structure, because notoriously what happened with United players, usually we bring them over. I mean, what United player have we signed and they've left and they've gone on to be a better player? Or they've turned out to be a better player when they let it rarely happens. But now, under this new regime, with new coaches, with a new board above us, I think that can change. And just look at the young profiles that we've got already. Amad Diallo, 21. Kobbie Mainoo, 19. Garnacho, 19. You know, you've got Rasmus Højlund, 21. You bring in Zirkzee, 23. Lisandro Martinez, I'm sure, is only, 25? Something like that. De Ligt, 24. Dallow's not too old. What's he, 25, 24? Like, you've got years then. And that's one thing that always concerned me with United. But you look at Arsenal's average age profile of their squad, it's like 24, 25. Saliba's young, Gabriel is young, Ben White's young. Obviously, they've got a couple of experienced players in there, like your Partey's or your Jorginho, should I say. But Declan Rice is young, Saka's young, Martinelli. You go throughout the full team, there's a lot of youth in there, which means they're only going to get better. You know? If you go about the Jose Mourinho way of doing things, and I'm not saying that hasn't been successful, because obviously he's won things before, but doing that now and bringing in these big players on big contracts and looking for 5 years on 300 grand a week, and you get, you know, your team becomes that, which we've got quite a few players, Casemiro, for example. There's no longevity in that. You know, we're aiming to win the league in the next 3-4 years, let's say. People might say that's stupid, but realistically, it's going to be, 2-3 years, let's say. So you can't really be buying, like, the cherry on top of the cake. We need to build with signings like this. With your Zirkzees, your Ugates, your De Ligts, you get a core squad in there, and then you can start to sprinkle that kind of fairy dust over it. That's what Ratcliffe was talking about, you know, we don't just want to sign Mbappe. If you bring Mbappe into this team, do you think we're going to win the league? No, absolutely not. Build blocks. Push back up into that Champions League position. Start being competitive. Then add your sauce. Then add your salt and your seasoning, and then you get a proper meal, rather than just going, cherry on a turd. Doesn't work like that. Football, you know, you have to be much more methodical in your approach. You've got that wrong. Ahmad's not 21, he's 22. I mean, we don't need to be pedantic, Vincent. Come on. 21, 22, does it really matter? He's young. That was my point. De Ligt and Ugarte are crucial signings. All we need after those two is one more centre-back. Ugarte is the only one. I'm convinced De Ligt's going to happen. Zirkzee's already happened. I don't think Branthwaite is going to happen. I think they're going to pivot, and they might push for Euro. Ugarte is one I'm 50-50 on, because I think the reports that are flying about aren't as strong as what's being perceived. At least I think that's what David Ornstein said. So I'd keep an eye on that one. I mean, it still could happen, but I mean, it's a good deal. It's a good deal. That's the kind of player you look at, you're like, it's a player who fits the position. Because for Manchester United, again, I'm going off on a bit of a tangent here, but for Manchester United, the players that we've had there, we've always shoehorned players in, or the system around them doesn't work. Like, look how exposed Casemiro was. You have Ugarte in there, it's slightly different. It can cover grass a lot more. Casemiro, you needed a bit more protected system, and he's probably still do a good job. We have a very open, expansive approach. Now, I'm not sure what style is going to be played next season. If he's going to try to stick with a similar one, aggressive, transitional, direct. That's yet to be seen. So it all depends on these kind of things. But Ugarte in that midfield, I think, could do a better job, in my opinion. I'm not saying he's a better player, but systematically, I think he fits better. Yeah, but Zirkzee, very exciting. Let me know your thoughts and feelings, whether you're watching this live or watching this later on. Yeah, I'm really excited about this. I'm going to pop... I actually did a video on Zirkzee. To be honest, I probably should have saved it for now. But I put a video out. I'm going to put a link in the chat for you guys, for anyone who hasn't seen it. And that's like a proper deep dive on what type of player he is, his whole background from like, you know, his youth days at like Anderlecht with Vincent Kompany, Bayern Munich, what happened there, and loads of other things. So yeah, I'll pop that link in the chat for you if anyone wants to check that out. Again, if you're on TikTok, hop over to YouTube and hit that subscribe button. But yeah, there's the video on Zirkzee for anyone who wants a little bit more in-depth knowledge on that player. Right, shall we move on to Ruud van Nistelrooy and Rene Hack then? Because again, loads of more news on that. So Ruud van Nistelrooy and Rene Hack are officially announced as assistant coaches for Manchester United. This news came literally a couple of minutes after Zirkzee being announced. His videos already of Ruud in the rain at Manchester, ready for his coaching, which I thought, I mean, I wasn't worried, but I thought it was a little bit surprising that because Ruud van Nistelrooy did a pretty good job at PSV, he won a couple of trophies there, and he got linked with the Burnley job, he got linked with a couple of others. I thought it was surprising that they would want an assistant role. And same for Rene Hack. I know he's managing Go Ahead Eagles, and it's a big opportunity for both. But I thought, you know, maybe they'd want it. When you're a manager, you believe you could be the best, regardless whatever squad it is, whatever team it is. You believe you could be the best. So them accepting the assistant role is interesting to me. If one was to go down conspiracy road and have a theory about this, I think Ineos bringing in someone like Ruud van Nistelrooy, who knows the fabric of the club, very good coach, you know, plays really attractive football. Maybe they're like looking at it like, you know, if we have another situation like we did with Erik ten Hag, you know, we've only extended it by another year, and we need to integrate a coach into it who we like the profile of. Maybe it could be Ruud. Maybe you could take that step up. You know, after being, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's not the worst idea in the world, is it? And again, I'd like to see how that dynamic's going to work with Rene Hack. From the videos that I've seen, again, I don't know what kind of football he played at Go Ahead Eagles. I haven't watched any of their football, which I probably should do at some point. But he's a disciplinarian. That's what he seems like. And I think, look, he may rub some of the players the wrong way in the dressing room, but I think they need that. They need that discipline instilled. And maybe that's the way Ineos are looking at it. They're like, look, ten Hag on this side, we're going to get rid of Van der Gaag because we don't believe he's doing the right work, or whatever the reason was why they got rid of him. Ruud can come in, he can offer new ideas, he can implement this, he can work with the strikers like really closely and get the best out of him. We invested a lot of money in Rasmus Højlund. And then Rene Hack, you know, bring him in. We need structure, we need discipline. He can be that side of things. So you look at the team that they're shaping up, it looks like a well-oiled machine, but it's, again, we yet to see it in action. I'm excited to see what style of play we have. And naturally, the more players we bring in, the more options we have, the more kind of we can tweak the system. And hopefully, if players stay injury-free, then you can start to, you know, maintain some consistency in your team. Let's hope. Zirkzee is like Firmino for me. That's spot on, Juddy. My Damned United, hi all, hope everyone is good today. Great news all around, working but listening in. Did I miss the Zirkzee song rendition, Nick? Oh, I thought you would have forgot about that, but I'll do it for you. So this is what we should probably sing around Old Trafford. Again, I don't know if you agree with me, but this is Zirkzee's new song for anyone who hasn't heard it before. So is it Liberty X? I don't even know who fucking sings it. I think it's Liberty X. Well, the original is, what is it? Sexy, everything about you so sexy. You don't even know what you've... So, someone can finish the second half of it, but obviously you can turn that into Zirkzee, everything about you so Zirkzee. You don't even... And then, you know, you can figure it out from there. United fans are smart. Take it away. Whoever's lyricist in the chat, anyone's good at writing lyrics, take that away, come back to me, and we'll figure out some kind of #1 hit, and we'll take it global. Yeah, for any records that are watching. Donny van de Beek's officially completed his move to Girona. Some news that's popping up there. Exciting times, man. Exciting times. Ineos said they was going to make a lot of changes, didn't they? And they certainly wasn't lying. They was not lying. You know, you look at from top to bottom, they have quite literally cleared house. Omar Barada, bang, new CEO. Dan Ashworth, bang, sporting director in control of everything. Jason Wilcox, involved with Dan Ashworth. I don't even know what his official role is, but it's like technical director or something. And then a load of other names who I can't even fucking remember who's been kind of placed around him. But they've assembled these kind of Avengers in the boardroom and took all of the clowns out of it. So one, boom, fantastic start. The cuts they've made, you know, some people have disagreed with them, certain staff being moved on or whatever it is. But they're looking at it financially and they're making cuts wherever they can. So make of that what you will. Business-wise, it's probably smart. Then you look at the targets that we're linked with. Recruitment is, you know, night and day to what we would usually go for. Don't forget, we spent around, 12 weeks on Frankie de Jong, negotiating back and forth, blah, blah, blah. How are we going to get him? We'll fly. You know, they flew to Barcelona 5 times, I believe it was, and then it was like, no, they bottled it. Casemiro's an option. Let's go sign him on a 5-year contract. Yeah, initially, first season did well, and then the rest is history. Rabiot, Turin, flying out there, you know, getting held over a barrel by his mother. And we might still end up signing Rabiot, to be fair, but, you know, we couldn't get that deal over the line. He was fucking about there. The point is, usually with Murtaugh and Arnold and all these guys, they spent so long on deals and they couldn't negotiate the way out of anything. They couldn't negotiate a deal that was, you know, a tap-in, basically. And when any other club got involved, it was curtains. We couldn't deal with it. Now, they're being efficient, they're being effective. They're working on multiple deals at once, which is just like always been impossible for United. It was always just focus on this one for 3 weeks and then we'll see what happens. Multiple deals ongoing at the minute. And that is because of the people that have come in upstairs. New coaching staff, new people upstairs, new players coming in. You would like to hope a new change, basically. Let's pray. This is good news. We've made a signing and some deadwood has gone. We've nearly got rid of Mason Greenwood as well. Exactly. Greta Day to have a birthday. Thank you, United. Is it your birthday, Brian? I don't know who's your birthday. Happy birthday, Brian, if it is. Sorry, mate. Up the Reds, absolutely. Drop us a follow on TikTok, by the way, Instagram, and I was going to say Facebook and Twitter, if you want to follow us. Luke saying the song's mid. That's fair enough. That's why I didn't want to do it, but fair enough. Yeah, I think I'll leave it at that, guys, because we are going to go live at 7 o'clock as well. Was there anything else I missed? Delete we'll probably save for later on. I want to discuss Kobe Mainu in the show later on as well. I think me, Adam, and maybe one more is on at 7 o'clock. So make sure you come and join us for that. But I just want to obviously go live for Ineos' first signing in Joshua Zirkzee. Let us know your thoughts on this player. Does it excite you? Is it the right first one to bring through the door? Could see him in pre-season very, very shortly. Rudin, Rene Hacking, the Dutch connection all over. Exciting times. Smash a like on the video for us. Leave a comment about Zirkzee, and we'll see you at 7 o'clock, yeah? Legends.